Welcome to WNL Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with men's track and field junior David Fishman, women's basketball captain Katy Wilson, and men's lacrosse captain Mac Means. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. Women's swimming won the ODAC championship for the 6th straight season and the 23rd time overall, dominating the conference meet down in Greensboro. Wrestling earned its first dual meet win of the year down in Gettysburg while falling to Messiah and Stevens in Centennial Conference action. The baseball team began its season by sweeping Rochester of Michigan in a doubleheader, picking up 12-0 and 5-2 wins. Riding competed in 2 events, placing 7th at the Randolph-Lynchburg Invitational and then coming in 4th at Sweetbriar. Men's basketball dropped a 64-59 decision on the road against Randolph, while the women fell 64-56 at home to Hollins. And in track and field, the WNL teams competed in the Lafayette Rider Winter Games, highlighted by a school record for the women in the 4x400 relay. With me now is David Fishman, junior track and field athlete from Westfield, New Jersey. David, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
The Lafayette Rider meet was at the New York City Armory. Tell us about competing in a historic venue like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is absolutely a great venue if you've never been there. It's got a nice curved track, which is kind of unique to it. Obviously, being in New York City has its own sort of atmosphere. I have actually competed there in high school because I'm from New Jersey, but it's really great. It typically shaves a couple seconds off some people's time, so we had a lot of great performances coming from both the women's and men's, and obviously I did pretty well there as well.
You're the top pole vaulter for Washington and Lee this year. How did you get involved with that event? What do you find rewarding about the pole vault?
Well, my dad actually was a pole vaulter in high school, so when I was younger, I wanted to pole vault, and as soon as I could in high school, I started. What I like about the event, it's pretty technical, so there's a lot of mechanics that come into it, a lot of repetition, a lot of practice, and it's very rewarding because you really have to go up increment by increment, and you know, throughout my entire tenure, it's just been a very rewarding experience.
What can Washington and Lee accomplish at the ODAC Indoor Championship next week?
Well, at the ODACs, for indoor at least, we've unfortunately been plagued with a couple injuries now and again. So for the men's team, I mean, we expect to see a couple of young guys get some PRs and everyone all around do well. But given with what we have, we're probably going to get around 3rd. As for pole vaulting, I think it should be a nice competition for top 3. So I'm thinking it's going to come down to attempts and it's going to be good. Yeah.
Looking ahead, what's in store for the Generals during the outdoor season?
During the outdoor season, I mean, hopefully a lot of people should be returning and we should have some good attempts. So if not 1st, then 2nd, and Lynchburg in 1st. Yeah.
David, thanks for being here. Good luck at the ODAC meet next week.
Thanks for having me.
I'm joined now by Katy Wilson, senior basketball captain from Chattanooga. Katy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. With
the departure of last year's great senior class, you've become the #1 focus for just about every opposing defense, and yet you're still leading WNL in scoring and rebounding. How have you adapted to the different challenges that you faced this year?
It's definitely been an adjustment this year. Obviously, we graduated the seniors who had a lot of scoring. So I've just sort of taken more responsibility in scoring. I know last year I could step back and sort of watch Becca and Meg do all the work, but this year I've just had an intact mentality. I've been scoring in ways that I don't normally, like driving to the basket. And also if they do double on me, or focus on me on the defense, that means that someone else on the floor is open. So if we just hit them, we score on them in other ways. And also the rebounding is just something, I think it's an effort thing. So I'm just trying to be consistent doing that. Like they box you out, but you can get around them, just work harder than they do.
In the preseason ODAC coaches poll, WNL was picked to finish last. I know that did not sit well with the senior captains who've won an ODAC title. How have you been able to use that as motivation throughout the year?
I think it's been great motivation. I know I expected us to be ranked pretty low, as everyone views it as a building year. But being ranked 12 sort of gives us a chip on our shoulder, because they're basically saying to us that returners can't get it done, and they're saying that the freshmen can't get it done either. And I think that the freshmen have already had a huge impact on the team. They share the playing time with us. And I also think before every game we just have this mindset that we're proving something that other teams don't have, because we are the underdog in every game. And if we do win, it's an upset, so that's always exciting. I know after our freshman year when we did win, we were ranked preseason #1 the next year. And that was definitely a different place for us to be in, because every game we play, we are supposed to win. And that was sort of a different thing for me. I would rather be the underdog. That's sort of the WL mentality, that we're going to get it done whether anyone else thinks we can or not. So we surprise people.
WNL continues to lead the conference in scoring defense. How have you been able to maintain the intensity on the defensive end for 40 minutes in pretty much every game this year?
Defense for us this year has actually been a huge focus. We work on it a lot during practice, and it's something that we take pride in. I think this team works really hard in that defense is typically just an effort thing, and some people say you play defense to get down to the offensive end of the floor, but for us, I think we get enjoyment out of the defense. We make runs on the defensive end. If Rachel Warwick steps up and takes a charge, that's something that gives us momentum. And we also know it's important for us to hold teams to low scoring because we have struggled on offense. So we can play with any team in this league because our defense takes them out of their game. And so they have to play at our pace, and that's when we're able to win games.
What do the Generals need to do to make another ODAC tournament run next week?
I think we just need to have a lot of confidence. I know WNL is often called the tournament team. We usually peak at the end of the season. And I think this year we need to just come with the mentality that we can beat anyone we play, no matter what the preseason ranking, because we won freshman year when we were ranked preseason 6th. So your preseason ranking doesn't really mean anything. I know that if we do the little things and have confidence and play at our level, which we have struggled with at playing at different levels, if we play at the WNL level every time we play, I believe that we can beat anyone in the ODAC. We just have to be confident and believe in it.
Katy, thanks for being here. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Jeremy.
With me now is Mac Means, senior lacrosse captain from Sewickley, Pennsylvania. Mac, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
WNL made a great run to the ODAC championship game at the end of last season. You beat Hampton-Sydney and Roanoke on the way to the championship game. What enabled everything to come together for WNL in the postseason?
I think a big part of that was that we knew that going into the ODAC tournament, it was the start of a new season. What had happened before really didn't mean anything, and that it was we tried to take everything one game at a time. We had a lot of momentum coming out of that Randolph-Macon win in overtime and fought through a lot of adversity in that game, and I think that gave us a lot of confidence going into the playoffs. Another big thing was over the spring break that we had. We were pretty much the only team here, or one of the few, and we really got to bond as a team a lot that week. And you know, it's kind of an intangible thing, but team chemistry is huge, and I guess we just had a sense of togetherness after that week that really carried us into the playoffs. And so we just took it one game at a time. And you know, one other really important aspect of that was Warren Berenis' play and goal. He posted 20 saves in the Roanoke game, and anytime you got a goalie playing that well, you got a chance to win every game. So that was definitely a huge part of it as well.
You've got a lot of guys coming back from the 2012 team. How can you carry that momentum over into your senior season?
Well, I think this year's a completely new season. It's a new team. There's new rules actually this year, and everyone's adjusting to those, and I think we've done a good job so far. The coaches have really prepared us well for them. I think for this season, the most important thing is that we keep this team chemistry going. In terms of talent, we've got the most talent that I've ever been a part of, in my opinion. We've got players returning on all sides of the field. We've got defense coming back. Obviously, Joe LaSalle making his return is going to be a huge boost for our team, not only in terms of his skill, but mentally also. Just battling back from 2 knee surgeries, that's something that the whole team can rally around. And so I think the most important thing is that we just keep playing our game. We really don't worry about the opponent so much. We worry about how we play, because it really shouldn't matter. If we're doing the things that we're trying to do, then we're going to win a lot of games. And I think if we just carry the momentum from last year, we'll do just fine.
You take on Christopher Newport on Saturday, then you've got top 10 teams on the road, Salisbury and Denison next week. What will you find out about WNL during these early season non-conference games?
Well, we got to take everything one game at a time. Christopher Newport is a great team this Saturday, and they're not to be overlooked. As much as Salisbury and Denison are in the back of our minds, we're really focusing on this Saturday. This is a team that we beat them 7-4 last year. The game easily could have gone the other way, and they beat Hampton-Sydney at the end of I think it was their last game of the season. So that's a team that's going to be hungry to beat us. They're going to want that game bad, and we need to go in there and make sure that we take care of business. If we put it all together, and I think if we just play our game and not so much worry about the opponent, like I've been saying before, we should have a good result against them. And then going into Salisbury, anytime you're playing the defending national champion, that's a pretty exciting thing. So last time we went over there, we lost a close game, 7-4, and we played really well, but we didn't finish the job. So I think this year we're definitely going to be looking to hopefully upset the national champions. But I guess we'll really find out a lot about our team and how we do in these games, because getting that Pool C bid really is contingent on winning your out-of-conference games. So we need to win at least 2 of these 3, but obviously going 3 for 3 would be great. But we think we're deserving to be a top 15 team this year, so we'll know a lot more about us after these 3 games. But one thing I really need to stress to the team is that we need to keep it in perspective. It's still the second, third, and fourth game of the season. If it doesn't go perfectly, the season's by no means over or anything like that. We got to keep working to get better and get ready for ODAC play.
What are the team's expectations for 2013?
Well, obviously, winning the ODACs, we came so close last year and fell a little bit short. So that's obviously one of the main goals. We really want to get that ODAC championship. Hasn't happened since 2009, and so no one on this current team has ever experienced a championship except for our coaches. So we really want to win the ODACs, and also we want to play well enough out of conference to earn that Pool C bid to get to the national tournament. We've never played an NCAA tournament game since I've been here, so we're definitely really excited about trying to do that this year. And once the NCAA tournament comes, anything can happen. It doesn't really, obviously national championship is the ultimate goal, but everything we're just going to take it one game at a time, and we'll see what happens. But I guess the main 2 right now are winning the ODACs, getting into that tournament, and then seeing what happens from there.
Mac, thanks for joining us. Best of luck this year.
Thanks a lot.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. Men's swimming travels to Charlotte for the Bluegrass Mountain Conference Championships, which begin on Wednesday and run through Saturday. Women's tennis opens up its spring schedule at home against Radford on Friday. On Saturday, riding competes in the Bridgewater Invitational. The track and field teams head across town for the VMI Winter Relays, while wrestling travels to Collegeville, Pennsylvania for centennial matches against Ursinus and Muhlenberg, and men's tennis visits Elon. Back in Lexington, baseball plays host to New Jersey City for a doubleheader, while men's lacrosse meets Christopher Newport, and the basketball teams wrap up the regular season at home against Shenandoah. The men's game tips at 2, followed by the women's contest at 4. For WNL Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.